Welcome back to Kanga TV. Oh, no. Jokes. It's not Kanga TV. We have the wonderful North Nuffy, Marnie here. Yeah. Fellow North Nuffies here.
Hi.
And we're going to be discussing what we think the Roos are going to do this year. A few predictions. So first of all, I want to hear from you, Marnie, what you want to see from the Roos this year.
Flag.
We all want the flag.
We want the flag, but if talking seriously, and we were talking about this off air before, it's tangible improvement. Like, we know, and even watching the practice games of the past couple of weeks, North will improve.
Yep.
And we can see it. Like, we already have taken that next step up. The young guys have now got, a lot of them have got a season, a couple of seasons under them. So we do know improvements on the way. But now the next step in my mind is us actually having something to show for it. We've only won 3 games in the past couple of seasons and 2 games the year before that. So now it's got to be about runs on the board. It's got to be about wins. It's got to be about a lot more competitiveness, closer games. We want the stats sheets to be closer, like all of that sort of stuff now. Because I think if the club can't make a big step up this season, then I actually don't know where we go from here. So I don't want to put a lot of pressure on the club, but at the same time, like, they need the pressure and they need to be able to perform. Yeah.
Well, the pressure's only going to get more and more as the team gets better. So exactly. I think you're right to put a bit of pressure on it. Yeah, I want to see that identity from the Roos. I also want to see us, get some games where we get 4 quarters together. I feel like
100%.
we played so many games last season where we looked good for patches and we just couldn't get 4 quarters together.
4 quarters, and also just like the ability to maintain the game when it needs to be maintained. And we're recording this the day after the West Coast preseason game, and there was patches of that game where we actually were just able to steady the ship a little bit and just neutralize the ball. Like, a really good example of that is in the first 10 minutes of the second quarter, West Coast just ran all over the top of us. They've scored 4 or 5 consecutive goals and hit the front. But after they did that, our ability to respond by taking the sting out of the game a little bit, I think a lot can be said for something like that, because for a lot of the time last year, we just let teams overwhelm us and run over the top of us and get on runs, and they were just able to generate big scores really, really quickly.
Yep.
So even if we can just have that ability to, like I said, make changes within the game, within quarters, where we can actually just steady the ship a little bit and bring the game at least back onto neutral territory to allow us to go again, then I think that's also going to be a big, big one for us.
Yeah, we need to be able to set up defensively very well, because we don't quite have the personnel for defensive football right now. And I think a few people have been saying it, that we look really potent moving forward. Maybe in a few years we can get the more personnel in there, do a Hawthorn and get, a Barras and a Battle to add to the mix. But
would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be really nice. Me and Caden yesterday filmed a pass mark video. So what do you look at as a pass mark for the Roos?
If we're just looking like numbers, it's got to be at least 6 wins.
6 wins.
Last year we won 3 games, and we have 3 games where most North fans walk away and think we should have won that. So I think that's got to be our baseline. It can't just be 4 wins. It has to be the 6 wins.
Yep.
For me, has to be the baseline, and then anything else I think is just a bonus at this point.
I agree. I think 5 wins is a fail. I think we can be that cutthroat about it. If you don't get that 6 wins, it's a failed season, which is brutal. But that pressure, we need to put it on them.
You need to, though. How long can you make excuses for them?
Yeah, exactly. Ladder prediction.
So I think 6 wins is bare minimum. I have us 14th with 8 wins. But I don't think that ladder position is as crucial to us being able to start building as the wins are. Yep. I think Hawthorn, when they finished towards the bottom of the ladder, they, a couple of years ago, they had still 6 wins. Yep. So I think it's got to be less about the ladder position and more about the wins on the board.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I would say I'd have us about 14th.
14th. I think I had us at 13th. So that's probably a bit optimistic.
That's
I've seen
nice.
a lot of ladder predictions going around, and people have us sort of 3rd last. So 16th. I wouldn't, as you were saying, I wouldn't be mad at 16th if we racked up the 6 wins.
Yeah, but I also think we should be able to improve on that.
I agree. I just think the league this year, it is so hard to go, that's a win, that's a win, that's a win. You look at the rest of the competition, it's probably really only North Melbourne, West Coast and Richmond that probably go into the season going, we're probably not a finals team. The other 15...
We're winning the flag. What is wrong with you? We're winning the flag.
The other... I'm just going to... I don't want the too much Delulu coming in here. I think the other 15 teams in the comp are going, we should be playing finals this year.
Yeah, not wrong.
That's why I think I look at it and I'm like, yeah, we need those 6 wins. I want those 8 wins. I want the 10 wins. I want to make finals, but where are they going to come? What teams are we finishing above?
Anything can happen.
Potential All-Australian surprise. I would like to hear yours.
Well, Surprise, as in like
So more, I don't want
a left of field.
I don't want a Sheasel or an LDU
okay.
or a Cherry who
Tom Powell.
have looked. Tom Powell, that's a great pick.
I think he's on the cusp of hitting that next level.
Yep.
Last night he just completely blanketed Harley Reid and had an unbelievable game himself. He was sort of everywhere. I think last year was his breakout year in terms of like really cementing his spot in the side and just sort of announcing himself on the game and on this side, because I think for a long time it was, will he do it, won't he do it, will he go back to South Australia, like where is he sitting? We're comfortable with him being in the side now and he's there and he's such a crucial part to how we play now that I think if he can go one step further, which I think he will, could be anything. So yes, Tom Powell is my surprise All-Australian.
I'm going to go with you as well, Tom Powell. I think last season, you're right, he broke out and showed that he's capable of playing that A-grade level. Last year he looked massive. This year he's looking a little bit thinner. So maybe he's, trying to gear up for going back to back. Yeah, get the whole season going. Like, we already know he's a big, strong, powerful boy. A little bit thinner. But I like that pick. I'm actually going to. That's who I had in my head as well.
He's stealing my ideas,
yes,
guys. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Content.
Just stealing. Breakout player.
Will Phillips for mine.
Will Phillips, really?
Yeah, it's a make or break year for Will Phillips. I think this is probably his. I don't want to say it's his last chance because I don't want to like write a script for him and write his destiny. And if this year's a bust, then that's it for him. But it kind of feels that's the way it's gone. Pick 3 at the end of 2020. There was a lot of comparison and question marks around him very early on. Should we have gone for a Logan McDonald who went to Sydney with the next pick? For him now, he's had an unbelievable preseason. He's stacked. The games that he's played so far, he's barely put a foot wrong. I would have him as a lock in my round 1 side at this stage, just on the back of everything he's shown to this point. And I think we need to just give him a year to just show us what he's made of. And I really believe that he's hungry enough and is fit enough now to take that opportunity with both hands and just be the player we've always wanted him to be.
I like the optimism. I like the way you look at it.
Oh, he's disagreeing. Here we go.
I was pretty skeptical on the Will Phillips pick at the time. I really wanted Logan McDonald, and I still think a Logan McDonald in the side would be very handy. He seems like such a good person.
He's great, Will.
I hope you're right. I really want to see him succeed. Right. What do you see his impact on a game being? Like, because that's the thing with him being hypercritical. I don't know. Maybe the tagging role, he showed that as against
the tagging role, but also that in and under role. Like his clearance work is really, really good. Having him functioning in the midfield along with someone like a Tom Powell, who I think will probably spend some time back in defence as well, but he'll probably mix between the two. It allows the guys like Finn O'Sullivan to have a bit of freedom on the outside, the LDUs and the Sheezers. You need workhorse type players to make the flashy guys look good.
I hope you're right. I really do. I would love nothing more than to see a Will Phillips breakout season.
Same, because when we revisit this video at the end of the season, you're like, oh yeah, you're right.
I won't be picking it though. Hello, yes, this is Augustino on the edit. Yeah, had some technical difficulties along the way with this one. All my fault. Marnie is an upstanding professional, and I'm just getting back into the game. So the equipment, it's not all sorted. Need to get some better audio stuff. Sorry for the volume capping. The quality of the camera, even this here, need to sort that out. Need a new laptop. Excuses, but it is what it is. So just here's a little bit of a explainer. There's another dropout later where the outro and the finishing off of the video doesn't quite get the job done. So me and Marnie finish it with a video call at the end. So just a heads up. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Marnie is a superstar. She knows her stuff, and she's a North fan. So yeah, we stick together, us Kanga fans. I'm going to go hard on the videos this year. So hopefully we get better along the way, because the quality right now, it's not up to scratch, is it? But I've been out the game for a while, so just hang with us, and who knows where we go, guys. Geez, my face looks red. All right, back to the video. Bye. Thanks, bye. Right, we definitely didn't have an intermission there due to technical difficulties. Charlie Comben has the potential to take that number 1 defender role, and with Griffin Logue back there, it's going to get a little bit of support. But yeah, Chommy, I think he's genuinely got like a bright future as a key defender.
I think so too.
I know there's a little bit of a discussion of, is he going to be key forward? Is he going to be key defender? I personally would just keep him in that back line and let him work on that craft. But what do you think of him?
I loved that game he played against Carlton last year when he kicked 3 1/4 when he went up forward. I think if he can stay down back to get his body right, just to find a little bit more consistency in his footy and a bit of trust in himself, and then move forward again, maybe when Darling retires or maybe when, the time is right, I could see him go forward long term.
Really?
But for now, I think he's good in defence.
So you think our next premiership team, Charlie Comben, is right there as a key forward next to
Charlie,
Larky.
Charlie Comben is like that Jared Waite-esque player. He's so athletic,
Yep.
and what he can do really adds another dimension to our forward line that he's not similar to Larky, like in the slightest. And so I really think that he would be a great asset if we could get him to move forward.
Right.
And then hopefully by that time, someone like a Matt Whitlock or a Will Dawson have developed enough that they could stand on their own 2 feet down back. But for now, in defence, I think is a great spot for Chom.
I've always just, I don't know, I've always been like, well, he's that good as a key defender. And
I've got him thinking now.
he shows
the mind's sticky, you can see.
The cogs are turning. They're a bit rusty. They haven't gone for a while. He shows stuff as a key forward for sure, but I think he can really be one of the game's better key defenders.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and I also wouldn't be mad if that was the case.
Yep.
I just think he's so talented. Like,
yeah,
it would almost be a waste not to give him another shut up forward.
Best young player.
I mean, Fino Sullivan's the obvious one. And if we're talking about the draft class of 24, then he's that guy, and I would expect him to debut in round 1.
Yep.
But there's a bunch of young guys who are so talented in that side. I'm really hot on Riley Hardiman. I hope that he can come into the side this year and give us that run and a bit of creativity off the half back line. I also think Colby McKercher, hopefully injury-free this year, and can just show everyone what he's made of.
Do you think Colby's being pushed up the ground a little bit too soon? Because I feel like Sheasel sort of got 2 seasons at that half-back position. Is the plan for him to be wing half-forward this year?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's the right call. I just think we are trying to play a slightly faster moving style of football. We're trying to transition the ball a little bit quicker down the other end of the ground, and then I think if that's the case, we do need to unleash someone like Colby on the wing. I think we do need a second attacking defender to work alongside Caleb Daniel, and rather than sucking someone like a Shees or a Colby back into that defence, maybe bring in a Hardiman or Fisher when he's fit, or Goda if fit as well. I think those are the names which should be floating for that second position. I'd like to keep Colby up the ground a little bit more.
I think he's definitely capable. I just had questions whether it was too soon and he deserved another season.
I get that.
But I guess he did show that much last year of how good he's going to be, that why not excel him?
Yeah, pull the trigger now.
A name that you brought up there, Josh Goda, gets me quite excited. I love players that have really penetrating kicks. So who was the last guy that we had coming off halfback with a really penetrating kick? I can't really think. Like J-Mac, he had some good moments as a North player and good servant of the club. Scott McMahon, good servant of the club. You know, Farito, they're really strong, trustworthy footballers defensively, but we haven't really had that polished penetrating kick coming out of the back line, which could be a real point of difference. Like you look at those good Hawthorn teams, Grant Birchall, amazing kick coming out of the back line. I think Goda has that natural ability to kick the ball, that penetrating, accurate kick. Next one I've got is Shinboner of the Year. You wouldn't believe it. I will just quickly say Jacko Archer is the one we spoke about earlier. You know, with the last name Archer, it's a pretty obvious sort of pick. Came on a fair bit last year. Can play on smalls and talls and does it all. Just a real competitor. Do whatever you ask kind of guy. One that we think will definitely be in our next premiership team. Who is your pick?
Obviously, Archer, the name, the legacy. Don't have to say much more about that. But my other one was Nick Larkey. I just love the way he goes about it. He carried that forward line for years. On field, he's a great leader. Off field, he speaks so well, and he's definitely been a real key spokesperson when talking to the media and really fronting up week in, week out. So I think that if he is able to continue that both on field and off field, then we're in great hands.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, he's a great club guy. Just seems like a great person in general.
I cannot speak highly enough of him. He's got, time of day for everyone, and I've got so much time and respect for him. So, yeah.
Speaking of Nick Larkey, the next category I had for us predicting was the lead goal kicker. Larks is a pretty obvious sort of option with, as we spoke about before, how deadly he is in front of goal and sort of takes every chance he gets. Outside of Larkey, is there anyone that you could see could top him?
Definitely Paul Curtis. I think he's going to have a massive year. I think the inclusion of Darling and the more even spread in terms of how we look up forward, and then again how we can spread the defense of the opposition. I think that he's that real X factor. I think his ceiling is the highest of all of those forwards, particularly that sort of mid forwards. He's really good with his hands, but also below his knees. I think when he gets going, he can be anything. So I definitely expect him to take another step up this year and really make an impact on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I love that call by you. I think, he's got everything you need out of a medium-sized forward. I'll go with Zerha. If we can get some consistent footy going, I think he's got big-time player about him. kick some big time goals. The last one I had was who's going to win our best and fairest. Obviously, Lukey Davies-Uniacke won it last year, and his contract year could be massive for him to go again. A lot of incentive to have a big year, and Sheasel's sort of an obvious pick, but sort of outside of those two, is there anyone that you could see winning it?
Yeah, so I think my obvious pick would be Shees. I think he's definitely, I reckon he probably would have won it last year, to be honest, if he didn't miss those last 2 games through injury. But outside of those, I think Caleb Daniel, he could potentially put himself in the frame. Caleb Daniel will see a lot of the ball, and he will be the one really directing traffic out of our back line. So I think we've already seen what he's capable of just in those few practice matches. And if he can string some good games together, then it wouldn't surprise me if he finished in the top 5 or even in the top 3. I think he's got what it takes to win it. And there's no pressure on him. I just think he'd be looking to have a bit of redemption himself and really make an impact at North. So I'd be watching him very closely. I think he could be a smoky for the best and fairest.
I think that's a pretty good call. Someone who uses the ball as well as Caleb Daniel does. That's a good outside call. I was going to say Cherry, but that's not too outside considering he came runner-up last year. And outside of those guys, I think we discussed it a little bit before that Jai Simpkin, 2-time winner of the Sid Barker already. First year as individual captain, had a massive game in the Indigenous All-Stars vs Freo game. I could see him potentially having a really, really big year, as we discussed earlier. What do you expect from Jai this season?
I think that if he can keep a clean bill of health, then he has every chance to bring back that Sid Barker form. I think he is someone who I could see really relishing in the role of being solo captain. And I think that game that he played for the Indigenous All-Stars, which you just mentioned, he was such an emotive performance. It was like really inspiring, and I think that those are the sorts of emotions that he needs to tap into and bring to North Melbourne in season 2025, and I'd back him in to do it.
Marnie, I'm sorry that I've taken up so much of your day. This is the third or fourth time I'm doing this outro with you. You've been very, very flexible and easy to work with, so I really appreciate it. Everyone go check out Kanga TV. Me and Marnie had a good chat over there, and she's doing awesome work over there, so check it out.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to talk North with you anytime, my guy. Thank you.